And then I realised that the bed was lifted off of the floor. In my head, I'm like, it's trying to kill me. Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Louise, and today I'm going to talk to you about my paranormal experiences living in my mum's house. Growing up as a child. I'm not going to be able to fit all of them in this one video, so there will be more videos talking about the rest. This video is just going to be about some of my experiences growing up, more from a young child up until teenagehood. A lot of people won't believe me because of how crazy some of them are, but I promise you this is the truth. So anyway, let's just get into it now. I moved to the house where this all happened in the year 2000. I was about 5 or 6 years old. The day we moved, we all got sick. We got so sick that it kept us in bed for a whole week. I'm telling you, it was just weird. We thought it must have been the smell of the paint or something, but they did leave it quite a while before we moved in after they'd painted and they'd aired it out and stuff, so it shouldn't have really made us sick for a whole week. Now we're thinking, I wonder if it is because the house was so disgustingly haunted that our soul and everything was just reacting to it, or if something made us sick, I don't know, or we could have just all got a bug, and that is completely irrelevant, who knows. I'm just going to talk about my experiences. My family have their own, so they will be other videos as well. I might be able to get my mum or my sister or someone to come and talk about their experiences on other videos, but I'm just going to talk purely about my experience. I always felt like I was being watched. This is as a child. It was a creepy feeling, but then I remember feeling oh, I must be I remember thinking in my head as a child, oh, maybe I'm just being, I'm in a TV show. I was so imaginative, had such a wild imagination. I thought I must have just been on a TV show, and I could feel that I was in a TV show, pretty much like the Truman Show, but I'd never ever even watched it at that age, and I just felt like everyone was watching me, and I was kind of I didn't really find it that scary at first, and then obviously it got more scary as I got older. I would wake up in the middle of the night, very, very late, because my mum and dad would go to bed pretty late. I would always wake up and they was in bed, so it must have been early hours of the morning. I would say 3, but I didn't really check the time, so I can't say for sure that it was definitely 3 o'clock in the morning, but I wouldn't be surprised, because as I got older I would wake up, check my phone, and it would be pretty much dead on 3. But I'd wake up in the middle of the night and see shadows in my room, but I'd hear things like creaks, footsteps, rustling. I remember one time I heard a carrier bag rustling kind of sound. It was weird to say, but I could just hear as if there was a carrier bag rustling somewhere. I would see shadows in the corners of the room. They wouldn't look like shadow people, what I've seen people talk about, but it would just feel like someone was there, and it was dark shadows, and I couldn't really make out what was making the shadow. So yeah, I was waking up every night. No, not every night, but a lot of the nights. I remember waking up, seeing shadows, hearing things. Then one night, it was Christmas time because we had a Christmas tree out. I woke up in the middle of the night, must have been nearly morning, because I couldn't go back to sleep, and I thought I would just go downstairs and watch TV until everyone woke up. So I go downstairs and turn on the TV. I had obviously my mum turns the switches off, so I turned the switch on, which then turned on the Christmas lights. And you know them Christmas lights that play music, like Christmas songs, that we had that. So as soon as it turned on, it started playing the music, so I pressed the mute button on the little box underneath the tree, and I'm watching TV. It's nothing scary happening, I'm just watching it. And then the music starts playing on the tree, and then I'm okay, I didn't think nothing of it. I just thought, okay, let me just go turn it off before someone wakes up. So I turn it off, and then I sit down, and then a little while goes on again, and then the tune starts playing again on the lights, and I'm okay, I go and turn it off. I go and sit back down again. As soon as I sit down, it turns back on, and I'm I get up, and at this point I start getting a weird feeling. I get up, and then I go turn off the sound again. I get halfway, so literally I'm sat here, and then it's not even that far. It's 3 steps to get to the tree. I take 2 steps. I'm so close to going to touch the button to get to the tree, to touch the button to turn it off, and it just turns off, and I'm I kind of knew then. And then I turned around and started heading back to the sofa. As soon as I got to the sofa, it turned back on again. And I was like, nah, not today. I went, turned all the switches off, ran upstairs. Not today, mate. That's just weird. Like, it never ever did that. I never done that during the day. I never did that after that. It just did it at that point. And it was just, it was so creepy, and I just felt like there was something there. It was so scary. Like, I just ran upstairs and I laid in bed and I was like, because there's so many experiences that happened, I have kind of had to write like slight little bullet points, like what experience I need to talk about in steps, because otherwise I'm just going to keep jumping from different things and we're never going to finish this video. There's not going to be no structure or anything. So pretty much after that happening to me, I remember waking up in the middle of the night and I could hear as if there was like a party downstairs. Not a party, more like a family gathering. So I wake up and I can hear loads of people talking downstairs and faint kind of music. It's not like music that we would listen to, like Rihanna or anything like that. Like, it was kind of like musical, like just the piano or something. I can't explain it. It was just like music, no song or anything, just like a tune, and then like a piano being played. That's all I could really like, kind of like, yeah, like a piano. And then loads of people talking all at once. Couldn't make out what anyone was saying, but it was just like loads of people talking, and you can kind of hear clinks of like glasses, and it sounded like there was like a lot of people downstairs in the living room for a gathering. It was strange, and I just, obviously being a child, I was like, who's here? So I get up and I could see the light from downstairs shining up onto the landing. So I get to the top of the landing. As I get to the top of the landing, just at the top of the stairs, the sound of the talking and everything, it goes faint. It like fainter, and then I'm not really thinking much about it, but I've recognised it's fainter. Start walking down the stairs. As I'm walking more and more, it gets fainter and fainter and fainter until I get literally halfway, maybe just above halfway up the stairs, and then it just goes completely silent. Like the light goes, it just goes black, like nothing. And I'm like, but obviously I've heard that there's people downstairs. I've seen the light, like, and at one point I'm like, okay, that's weird. Like, I can see now down into the hallway and into where the living room is and stuff, and I can see it's pitch black. And with common sense you'd think, okay, there's no one there, but I knew that I'd heard people downstairs, like, do you know what I mean? So now I'm like, nah, they must have just heard that I come downstairs and turned everything off and been quiet. So I've walked down, I literally look in the living room, I turn the light on, no one there. I go into the dining room, turn on the light, no one there. Kitchen, no one there. Literally no one was downstairs, everyone was asleep. I even ran upstairs, I checked on my mum and dad in bed, and they were asleep, and like everyone in my whole house was sleeping, and I was like, what? And I just remember being so confused. Like, I didn't hear nothing again after that, but like, so basically after that I had like a best friend, and what can I call her name? I'm not going to say her real name because I don't speak to her anymore, so I don't have permission. Catherine. So she was my best friend, Catherine, and Catherine was like, I stayed around her house, and then she was like to me, oh, let's do a Ouija board, I want to speak to my granddad. And I was like, what the hell is a Ouija board? I've never heard of it before. And she basically made it like, we cut out pieces of paper and like wrote letters and then numbers, and then we had like a little glass that we did. I can't even remember if anything happened that time. That was at her house. A while after, we did it at my house, in my bathroom. I was with my other friend Ashley, who I can name, and we did a Ouija board in there, and we weren't really taking it seriously. We were on our phones like this. We were all each on our phones, and I think Catherine was taking it more seriously. Me and Ashley was kind of on our phones, but we had our finger on the glass, and we'd made that ourselves as well. And I remember her saying like, it's moving or something, but at this point I'm thinking it's her or Ashley or someone doing it, I don't know. And we never even did it properly to the point where we was actually talking to something, because, you know, but I don't know whether that brought anything else into the house, but I know I experienced things before that. So I don't know. But I've just thought that was relevant to add into the story line of, like, you know, the timeline of what, you know, I feel like it's relevant. My family feel like I brought something in the house. One day I was ill off of school. I must have been 11, 12, maybe 13. But I remember it was Friday the 13th because I remember feeling like after that, every Friday the 13th, I won't be on my own for any amount of time. Even now, I'm very suspicious about Friday the 13th. I don't even know why, because it happened, like, things like this happened on a regular. Like, I'd hear bangs a lot. Like, my friends even would be around and there'll be no one else in the house, and we would hear footsteps upstairs, and it got to the point where I was like, they were like, what the hell is that? Like, proper loud. It's not coming from next door. It was, like, so loud it sounds like someone's above your head. And they were like, what the hell is that? Like, them kind of things weren't even scary anymore because it would happen a lot. This one Friday the 13th, I was off school and my mum had to drop off my little sister and my little brother off to school. So I was on my own. So I must have been about 12, 13. So I'm watching TV and I had a dog named Jasper, and he was like a little border collie. Like, I was so close with him. I would always feel safe around him. But this time, like, I was watching TV, I could hear walking around upstairs, and I'm not really creeped out by it. Like, I can hear it, and I've taken note that I can hear it, but it's one of them things where I'm like, if I ignore it, it will go away. So I try ignoring it, and I'm watching the TV, and then my dog is in the living room with me, and he's like pacing around the room, like going from where I'm sitting here, and he's like just walking around, looking into the kitchen, so I'm sat on the sofa here, say, the TV is like there. I have another sofa here, there's a big kind of open, there's no doors on it, but it's like open space for the dining room behind, and then from the dining room you could see through, there's like a serving hatch, so I could turn my head and see through the serving hatch, I could see into the dining room, through the serving hatch, into the kitchen. Not that I saw anything anyway, I didn't actually see anything, but I'm just letting you know that's what I could see. And then I could hear the kitchen doors, like kitchen cupboard, I could hear like a creak, and I'd turn, I'd look, I can't see nothing. Bear in mind I can only see from the serving hatch, you can kind of see where the sink is and the kitchen window. The cupboard's obviously at the top and the bottom. I couldn't see them. So I hear like a cupboard door. I could hear something. At first I didn't know it was a cupboard door. I could hear something, and then I could hear like the cupboard door went boom, slammed. Then I could hear another cupboard door slam. It was like opening it and closing, but different cupboard doors. And my dog was going mad. Like, he was like getting down like this, and then he was kind of like backing up, coming close to me, and it was kind of like he wasn't barking, but he was like looking like, what the fuck, and like backing up, like. And then I've stood up, and I'm panicking. I'm like, I don't know what to do, because I'm sat on the sofa like this. There's the TV there, there's the other sofa there, there's the dining room here, and to get out of the house I've got to go through this door, where this door here, and the kitchen is there, so the kitchen door will be there, and then I've got to go through the hallway, and then the front door is there. I'm standing there and I'm like, what do I do? I'm panicking, like, that is scary for me because it was so close. And then I had a cooker, my mum had a cooker that, you push the button, I'm sure they probably still do it, you push the button, it's like a gas button, and it makes click, 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 and then you would press the other button to make it light up on the stove. I knew for a fact what it was, the clicking from the stove, and I was like in my head I'm like, it's trying to kill me, like, I need to get out, gone now. I'm standing there, I'm like, I don't know what to do. My dog's going like a bit, he wasn't going mad like people say, like running around barking and all this. No, he looked scared, like he was like this on the floor, staring to the kitchen, kind of backing up a little bit, looking at me, looking at the kitchen, doing like a whimper. So I'm like, I'm not leaving my dog here. If I run out, I'm bringing my dog. But my dog wasn't one of them ones where he would walk beside me or anything like that. As soon as you open the front door, even like this much, he'll get out and run. Like, he was a runner. So I knew I would have to get his lead, which was underneath the sink in the kitchen. I don't even know how I did it. I feel like it must have been quiet for a little bit. And I literally ran in the kitchen. I opened up the bottom. I grabbed his lead, ran into the living room, put it on, put my shoes on. I ran outside. And then I literally get outside like 2 houses down my road. And my mum is there walking home. And I'm like, I quickly tell her what happened. I'm like, Mum, that's blah, 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 this happened. And then she's like, really? Like, I feel like when I was younger, my mum has told me since she experienced a lot of stuff in the house when I was younger. But when I was younger, I felt like my mum didn't believe me, and she never shared anything with me, which I'm glad she didn't share me the experiences that she has told me now, because I would have been a lot more scared. Like, when I would hear bangs and footsteps and that, my mum would always say it's the house settling and stuff like that, so it would make you feel a lot more better when you would hear the sounds, because you would kind of tell yourself that. But then this time, like, I knew for a fact what I heard, like, and she was like, oh, Patricia was like, you need to walk your dog now. You're going to walk Jasper now. You've already put his lead on, and it's not fair to take him home now. And I was like, you know what, I don't even want to be in the house anyway. But then I was, on a slyly, I was like, oh, that's long, because my mum would do this thing where I had to walk my dog for an hour. Like, I couldn't come home before an hour was finished. So then at the same time, I was like, oh, because like they would time me and be like, nah, you've not been an hour, he needs at least an hour in the morning, an hour at night. And obviously as a child you're like, this is like child labour, mate. It was just that, but it was so scary. Like, probably hearing about it now, you probably think, oh, that's kind of creepy, but you don't understand that fear that you feel in them times. Like, so then basically I must have been 13. Yeah, so when I was 13, my older brother moved out, and I didn't mention this, but before that, I was sharing a room with my little sister and my little brother. We were all 3 of us in a room. So when he moved out, my mum decorated that room, and she gave it to me, and I was so, because as being like the second oldest, so I was like so happy. I'm like, mate, I finally got my own room. Obviously, I'm becoming a teenager. I'm like 13 years old. I'm like, this is sick, like, I'm having my own room. But then at the same time, I remember having in the back of my head, like, I wake up all the time scared, hearing things and stuff, and it's just going to be scarier in my room. I remember thinking that in my head, but I was just happy that I had my own room, you know what I mean? Right, so this is creepy, and I don't know if people were just like, oh, that was sleep paralysis. It might have been sleep paralysis. I didn't try to move, but anyway, let me just tell you. So I go to sleep, and first, let me just explain the room for you. Yeah, it was a box room. So you've got the door here, yeah, and there was no handle on the outside because my brother had taken off the handle from the outside, but the handle on the inside was still there. So when you close the door from the inside, you can't, it was a secure door, there's no pushing it open. And you need to open it with a handle, but obviously he took the handle off for the main reason of he don't want no one going in there when he's in there. He was just that type of person. He didn't want no one in there. You couldn't open the door from the landing. So, yeah. And then when you go in and literally, or the doors here, right here was my drawers with my little pink TV on. And then right in front, like literally one step in front, it was really cramped. I had my double bed. And then I had a wardrobe at the end of my bed. Like a dresser, not a wardrobe, it was like a dresser with drawers underneath and a mirror. And then right next to the door this side here was a built-in wardrobe. That was my room. And the window was like opposite the door above my bed, okay? Bearing that in mind, yeah, I've gone to sleep and I'm facing the wall, so away from the door. And I wake up in the middle of the night and my door is, I always shut my door, and I can hear like a walking around on the landing. This is the first night I've stayed in that room, by the way. So I woke up and I'm laying there and I'm looking at the wall, but I can hear on the landing someone walking in the hallway. It's like creak, creak, creak. Like, I'm not really thinking too much of it. I'm not scared at this point. I can just hear it. And then I hear my door open, but it opened as if I had a handle. Like, it was like, and I'm looking at the wall and I can see the light like with the door opening on the wall. I know no one can come in my room unless they've got like a pair of scissors and they're putting it in the door. You can't get in unless someone puts a pair of scissors in and kind of turns it and it will open up the door. I could tell it just sounded like as if there was a door handle on it. It just opened. It was really strange. And I'm looking at the wall and then obviously panic sets in. I know this isn't my mum. By that point my dad had moved out. I knew it wasn't my mum or my little sisters or anything. And so I closed my eyes. I just knew I closed my eyes. I didn't try to move or anything. So I don't know whether I was actually in sleep paralysis or not. I convinced myself after that I must have been, because I'd never even heard of it before that. I convinced myself afterwards I must have been sleep paralysis, but I didn't try to move, so it might not have been. I'm just full of fear. Like, I'm panicking. In my head, like, I can just hear a voice in my head. It was probably my own voice. But basically, I was telling myself, don't move, pretend to be asleep. And I'm so scared, I can feel tears coming out from my closed eyes. I'm that scared, yeah, because as soon as the door opens, I can see it on the wall, I close my eyes, the door closes again. I could hear it shut, and the room goes, I could see, you know when you close your eyelids and you can see light, it goes like an orangey colour. When the door closed, it went completely black. And then I could feel behind me on the bed, it felt as if like a fist or someone's foot went onto the bed and it pushed the bed down. I could hear the creak. I could feel myself leaning back from where the mattress is pulling down. It was heavy. That's all I can explain to you. Heavy. It wasn't a light little push down. It was a heavy something pushed down on the bed. And then I felt it on the other side of me, pushed down on the bed. And then I just felt this weight laying on me. I knew something was on me. I was full of fear. I could feel myself pushing into the bed like something heavy was on me. It was, you know, if someone heavy lays on you, I'm getting goosebumps. You know when someone heavy lays on you and you can't breathe, it pushes down on your chest. It felt like that. It was so scary. I started praying in my head. I'm like, God, please help me, please help me, please help me. Get this thing off me, God, please help me. I'm just saying that in my head, and tears are strolling down my face. I'm closing my eyes. I didn't want to open my eyes. I didn't want to know what the hell this was like. Anyway, you can choose to believe me or not. I don't care at the end of the day. I'm just telling you what happened. Like, she's just so creepy talking about it. I don't like talking about it. I want so badly to make this video. I've tried a few times and then I just get creeped out. Like, I get this weird feeling and I don't like it. It's scary to bring it all back up. It's scary to talk and just feel like I'm bringing it. Anyway, so I'm laying in bed, I can feel it laying on me, I'm crying, I'm praying, and eventually, I've never heard of, at this point, I've not even got a phone, I don't think, yeah, and I've never watched, I don't think YouTube videos was even a thing. Maybe they were, but I had no idea what they were, so I'd never heard of anyone else's experience of this, so it's really weird now, seeing people saying this, where they picture a white light surrounding them. In my head, when I'm praying, I picture this, like, in my head I can just see this white light radiating off of me, and as that happens I can feel this thing get off of me, and then it just completely clears, like, and I felt more safe, but I was obviously scared because I don't know what the hell happened. But because of what happened, and in my head I'm telling myself I can't move, like, so I'm laying there, I've still got my eyes closed, I know this thing is off of me, I'm picturing a white light around me, and I'm just praying in my head, just keep, God, please help me, please get rid of this thing, what the hell is this, like, please help me, help me, help me. And with other occasions when I get scared, I would have run out to my mum in her bedroom, but I felt like I was safer to stay there, which is really weird to say. I don't know whether I was too scared to move or something was telling me I need to stay there, I don't know. I didn't try to move until after I felt it get off me, so I don't know whether I was in sleep paralysis and then I'd finally wake myself up, or whether that was a real experience. It was so real to me, so I don't know whether it was sleep paralysis or not. I didn't try to move. If I'd tried to move before and I couldn't move, then I'll know definitely it was sleep paralysis. I didn't try to move. I was telling myself, don't move. Don't let it know that you're awake. That was the first night I stayed in that room, which is weird because I asked my brother who was in there whether he's experienced anything in that room, because I was like, when I moved in there, that's when I experienced the worst stuff, and I was like, to my brother, mate, that must have been a haunted room for you. He's like, nah, I never experienced that. He don't believe in it. He never experienced nothing in that room. But the first night I stayed there, that happened to me, which is super creepy. And I remember waking up in the night and I heard a growling coming from my cupboard. The built-in one that I said was near my thing. I ran outside. And then since then, every time I went into my bedroom, I would never go into my room and close the door before I look in the cupboard, or I would look around the room, and then I'd close my door. Not that I'd ever even saw anything in there, but it just always felt like there was something in my cupboard, and I always had to check it before I went and shut my door, especially at night time. I could never see, even though like you would think that I would probably want to sleep with my door open just in case. But no, I'd rather I slept with my door closed all the time. I had to close it. So another time, my best friend stayed over. And as I told you, my room was still the same layout. So I'm laying on my bed and she's laying behind me. It's obviously a double bed. And we're looking at my little pink TV, which is right next to the door. So you've got the door here. Say my phone is the door. Right next to the door, there's my set of drawers with my little pink TV DVD combo, whatever else called that TV. We were watching Lion King. I love the Lion King, and anytime especially when I'd feel scared, I'd always watch Lion King and then go to sleep. It was just a massive comfort for me watching Lion King. Even now, if I'm scared, I'll watch a cartoon. But Lion King back then, had it on DVD. It was just, I loved the Lion King. So we were watching the Lion King. I remember we were laying there, she was laying behind me, and I was watching the TV, and something just drew my attention to the door. And I looked at the door, and then as soon as I look at the door, you know, keyholes on the door, they have the gold plate over the top of it. You know what I mean? That circle on top, and you can kind of spin it around. It just starts spinning on its own. No one's there. The door's shut. Me and Ashley laying in bed, and this just starts spinning. And it's not like it span once and then that's it. No, it span and span and span. It was just going spinning, and then I'm like. And we just look at each other, like we don't say nothing, we look at each other. And I'm like, Ashley. And then she was like, Louise, don't pay attention to it. This girl, Ashley, is the bravest person I've ever met. Like, I'm not even joking, she makes me feel so safe because she is so brave with these things. She was like, Louise, don't pay attention to it. She was like, Louise, I know, don't pay attention to it, just don't show your fear. That's what she said. She always says this. She's like, don't show your fear because it feeds off of your fear. Don't. Just watch it. So then, like, I'm trying to watch the TV. And then obviously I keep looking at it and it's still spinning. And then after like a couple of minutes, it must have been only a little bit, but it eventually just goes like this and then it stops. That was it. But then Ashley said that night she felt as if something stood in between me and her on the bed, and she was like, she was like, oh, I don't know. Maybe I'll let her come on here and explain her experiences in my house because I know she's had some. So I only have 2 more experiences left to tell you on this video, and then it's gonna be that's it. And we will do it on another video because it's getting late. It's already 2:30 here. I've got my boyfriend up and he's falling asleep because I'm too scared to say this to talk about this on my own. I tried it already and I've had to stop filming, and that's why we are here at 2:30 in the morning talking about this. I've got my notes, got 2 points left, 2 experiences left to tell you, and hopefully I can get it done without getting too scared because I have to keep stopping and waking him up because I'm like, you hear that? I'm more scared now of any little sound than I was back when these were happening. I don't know why that is. Living in that house and growing up in that house has scarred me properly throughout my whole life. Like, I can't be by myself anymore because I get too scared. I get really, really bad anxiety attacks. And these last 2 things I'm going to tell you are mad. This is when things started getting bad in my house, and then I'm going to tell you these 2 experiences, and then I will tell you the rest in another video. My friend, so how old was I? I must have been 15. My friend stayed over, so not Ashley. I'm going to say her name because I know she won't mind anyway. My friend Sneha stayed over, and she was having an argument with her mum at the time. They were going through this big thing, and basically she was like, I need to stay at your house. It was a school night, which was, my mum wouldn't have normally let anyone stay on a school night, but because she'd had these problems with her mum and they needed time apart, my mum was like, yeah, cool, let her stay. She had a school staff and everything. We went to school the next day, like it was fine. And she stayed, but this time, by this age, I'd moved my room around a little bit, so there wasn't much I could really do in that room, so it was literally two ways. So this time I had my bed on this side as opposed to this side, and my TV was, it was still in the same place as it was before, so it was still there next to the door, but my dresser was at the end of my bed there. So we were watching TV, and then we must have fallen asleep, and she fell asleep at the other end of the bed. I had this big bear that my dad bought my mum for Valentine's Day a long time ago, and my mum gave it to me after a few years. And so I had this big teddy bear at the bottom of my bed, and she'd fallen asleep laying on that. And I woke up, but I didn't just wake up by myself. I could feel like a shaking vibration, kind of. I could feel myself shaking, and it was waking me up. And I'm like, like I don't want to wake up. I'm tired. So it's like taking me a while to wake up. This shaking, and at the time, my friend Sneha used to scratch her ear and do this a lot, and I'd find it so irritating. So as I'm waking up, I'm thinking she's laying in bed doing that so hard that it's making me shake. And then as I'm coming to and I'm waking up more, I start noticing that it's not like a little shake. It's like I can feel like, and then I can feel like myself and the bed. I can feel the whole thing shaking, and then as I'm waking up, I can hear boom, 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 boom. My bed hitting off the radiator on the wall. I can hear it. I'm getting goosebumps. Anyway, let me just get this done quick because I'm a scaredy cat. So I can hear it, and I wake up and look, and it's dark in the room. But I can't see nothing there, but the bed is shaking. Bang, 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 bang. I'm like this, like obviously, I don't want to make a joke out of it because it looks funny like doing this, but I'm sat on the bed, I'm look directly to Sneha, she's asleep. She's not disturbing, nothing. This whole thing is not waking her up. And it's like bang, 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 bang. I'm like, Sneha, Sneha, and I start grabbing her leg and I'm like shaking, I'm like, Sneha, 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 Sneha. And she's not waking up, it's like she's completely dead out, like... It's creepy how she weren't waking up. And then I started crying. I start crying and I'm Sneha. I start shouting at this point. I'm fucking scared. And I'm like, Sneha, Sneha, Sneha. I'm crying. And then she goes like, she's laying there and she goes, like as she's disturbing to get up, she makes that kind of sound. And she moves. As soon as that happens, the bed goes boom. And then I realised that the bed was lifted off of the floor. Like, believe me or not, I don't care. The bed was lifted off of the floor. Like that. Why am I getting so emotional over it? But basically, I didn't realise that the bed was lifted off of the floor until I could feel it go boom. And I'm not saying it was like levitating high. It was just a drop. But it made like a massive sound as well when it dropped. Then she woke up and saw me and she was like, oh my days, what's the matter, what's the matter? And she's come over to me. I'm crying hysterically and I'm trying to explain to her what happened. Obviously I'm crying. It took a while for it to come out and she literally had to huddle me until I fell back asleep. But I could not see. I was crying. I had to squidge up to this corner because I felt like where the door is near my bed, I felt like something was standing there and watching me, and it was loving that I was so upset. Like that's all I could feel. It was just creepy as hell. And that was one of the craziest experiences because the bed was something actually lifted up the bed with me and Sneha on there and was shaking it, and it did it. I don't know whether this is true, but I felt like it somehow had the power to keep her asleep because as soon as she started waking up, it stopped. It was purely targeted at me. And it didn't care that she was there. Like, it's a horrible, scary feeling. Like, I don't know. Loads of people won't believe me because that is like something that you'll see on Paranormal Activity thing. And I would never believe anyone saying this if it didn't happen to me. So, I'm telling you 100% that happened. Anyway, and then there's this last time that happened with my boyfriend. And I was at college. So, I must have been about 16 or 17, probably 17. I met my boyfriend when I was 14 and we've been together since. We're still together now. And he basically, when I was at college, he started staying over. I never ever wanted to be by myself, as you can imagine. You know, if things like this was happening to you in your house, you wouldn't be able to sleep in your room by yourself. So I would always have him stay over, or always have Ashley stay over. So when he first started staying over, I didn't actually tell him my house is haunted. I think maybe I might have said something, but it's not something that you want to keep talking about anyway, especially when you've got to go home and lay in bed in the same room, and you know what I mean. So like, it wasn't something I'd always talk about anyway. But anyway, getting to the point anyway, so we can, I keep saying it anyway. Rashan is my boyfriend. So Rashan, basically, me and Rashan was watching a movie downstairs. Everyone had gone upstairs, and I had fallen asleep on the sofa. So the way it was is, say this is the sofa. I was on this sofa falling asleep. The TV was like, there's a window here, TV here, sofa here. Then there's the door, dining room. There's a door, I'm on the sofa here, there's a door here. And then this is the hallway, and then behind there's like the stairs. So he's on this sofa here. He can see through the door. There's no, the way my mum has done it, the only door that's actually downstairs is the kitchen door. The others, the door is just a frame. Like, there's no doors on them. So he could see from that sofa through to where the stairs is. And basically he's watching TV. I've fallen asleep on the sofa. He hears, he looks and he just sees something go down the stairs. Like, he just assumes, he said it was kind of like white. Because it went down so fast, he didn't think nothing of it. He thought it was like one of my sisters running downstairs to get a drink. Sorry about that, I just had to cut the video because I got scared. Anyway, so basically, he hears something come down the stairs, and he can see it. It goes, boom. It goes. So he's looking at the TV, and he's just thinking it's my little sister or my little brother coming down to get a drink. And then he notices, he's like just expecting someone to walk past the door and into the kitchen to get a drink. And he's looking, and no one is walking across. And then he's like, they're trying to scare me. They're waiting by where the front door is, and they're just trying to scare me because there's no one coming. And then he calls out to them and he goes, hello. And then no one answers. And then he's like, okay, this is getting a bit weird now. A little bit of time goes by, and he's like, okay, this is really, really weird. And he starts getting scared. And instead of getting up and going to check, he comes over to me and wakes me up. And then he's like, wake up. And I just remember waking up and I'm like, what? Like, what? And he's like, something creepy just happened. You need to go check if someone is down near where your front door is, down at the bottom of the stairs. And I'm like, why? He goes, someone ran downstairs and they're not coming across. I'm half asleep, so I'm not really thinking it's anything scary. I'm just thinking, what the hell is this guy on about? So then I just look around the corner, and then I'm half asleep, so I'm not really scared. But then when I look around the corner and I see nothing there, I just get this weird feeling, this strange feeling. I'm like, okay, let's just go to bed. Forget it, like, there's no one there. And he's like, oh my days. Like, when he realises that there's actually no one there, he's like, Louise, I'm telling you, someone ran down the stairs so loudly, so fast, like, and I saw something go down the stairs. And he was like, if no one's there, like, what the hell was that? And I was like, let's just turn the stuff off and go to bed. So I turn off all the TV and that, and we go upstairs. And we're laying in bed, and then I've woken up, like, by this point, I'm proper awake. And he's telling me what's happened. And then I'm like, oh, that's weird. Like, but I'm not really, because it never happened to me, I'm not really scared. I'm just like, that's weird. So I'm laying in bed, and then we hear the downstairs in the kitchen, the back door, the handle shake. It's like shh, like a rattling sound, like as if someone's trying to break in. That kind of shaking sound. And then we're listening, and then in the hallway, there's like one tile that was loose, and when the house is so quiet and everyone's asleep, you can hear everything, and we could basically hear this tile creak and footsteps down, coming from the kitchen into the hallway towards the stairs. And he looks at me and he's like, I told you. Like, he just whispered, I told you. And we're just laying there and we're listening, and I'm like, listen, and you just listening out for the sounds, and then you just hear, like, on the footstep, like, boom, like, very loud, like a heavy foot, but so slowly. It's like, boom, boom, boom. It's not walking up fast, it's walking like step by step, but quite slowly. And we're like, and where I'm laying in my bed when it's on this side of the room, where my built-in cupboard is, it's right above the stairs. My built-in cupboard is basically where the stairs is. It's tilted like that diagonalness. So my cupboard is here. You know when you go up the stairs and then you get the ceiling that goes diagonal? That's my cupboard. Anyway, so we could hear very clearly it walking up the stairs. And by this point my head is right opposite where my cupboard is, and there's no doors on my cupboard. My brother took that off as well, but it was kind of like an open kind of cupboard, and it was painted. It was quite nice, and I just had my clothes hanging in there. But anyway, besides the point. So I could hear it, and like basically you can hear this walking up the stairs, and then it stops halfway up the stairs, and then I'm listening. We're panicking. My heart is beating like boom, boom, boom. If this is like any scary stuff like this has ever happened to you, you will know that feeling of your heart pounding so hard it's hitting your chest, like that kind of feeling. It's that, and just it's just, I can't even explain it. It's just scary. And so I hear it stop at the bottom of the stair, like in the middle of the stairs, and we're just listening, and I can hear my cat on the banister. Like, we knew my cat was on the banister anyway, obviously, when we came to bed, and I could just hear the cat on the banister. So he's halfway up the stairs. This is directly under where my cupboard is, around that point anyway. And the cat is on this banister here. So right, my bedroom door is literally here. It has stopped here, and this is the banister. My cat is on here somewhere. And then there's steps, like, obviously there. And then there's this, like, plank. Just, you know, the banister's there, and then there's that wood plank going. Something banged so loud it went through the whole house. I don't know how no one in my house heard it or woke up. Me and Rashaan was like, boom, like it made you. It was the loudest whack on there, and my cat just went like screeched, and he ran down the stairs, and you could hear his claws, like how fast he ran down them stairs. You could hear him skid on the tile floors around and run. It was like you could hear it skid from where he ran down the stairs so fast, because it was such a loud bang. It was it was kind of like you could even hear it before you even heard it. It was like I can't explain it. It was loud, and I just jumped back. He's like, obviously Rashaan's like behind me, holding me. I'm crying at this point. I'm crying my eyes out. That I'm thinking, and then I'm like, Rashaan, we need to go and save Tibby. My cat's name was Tibby. Is Tibby. Well, she's not my cat no more, she's my mum's cat. But I was crying, and I was like, we need to go help her. Like, is she okay? Like, did it hit her? Like, we need to go protect my cat. And he's like, your cat is fine. Like, you're not going out there. Like, he's like, no, you're not going out there. And I'm like, I know that I'm not going to go out there, but I'm kind of like, we need to go help her. But I know for a fact there's no way I'm leaving my bedroom and going out there with whatever the hell that is out there. And then we can hear boom, 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 footsteps coming back up the stairs, and we hear it walk across the landing, boom, 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 outside my bedroom door. As I've said before, there's no handle on the outside of my door, so in that sense I'm kind of thinking it can't open the door, but then I'm like, it opened the door before, so, and it could walk through doors. But in a way I'm kind of feeling a little bit of safety, cocooned in my room with Rashaan in my bed in the corner of the room, and we're staring at the door now, and then I could hear the creaking of the door as if something was pressing up against the door, and then it goes quiet, and then all you hear is boom, so you got my bedroom door here, and then literally right there is my mum's bedroom door. You hear her door open, you hear it brushing against the carpet, and then you hear it slam shut. That's it. And then we hear nothing, and I'm like, it's in my mum's room with my mum and my stepdad in the room with them, and they are asleep, and my baby sister was in there as well, and we're like, how the hell has no one heard this? This is why I say I feel like it can control who can hear, like who will wake up. Like I feel like it could put other people in deep sleeps just so it can mess with you. Like that's what I felt like at my mum's house anyway. It was, do you know, it's one of them ones where like when I explain it and I think about what it must sound like, I can understand why people wouldn't believe me. I can understand, but I'm telling you now, it happened, is real. Like that's what I can say. Like my boyfriend was obviously there. I still have a lot more experiences to share with you, so this will be part 1. I'll bring out a part 2. I've got so many experiences to share. That'll be in the next video. I hope you enjoy this video. If you did enjoy the video, please can you like the video to just let me know that, hey, I like it. If you have your own paranormal experiences or any experience that you've had, please put it in the comments. I will really want to read it and make me feel like I'm not the only one. You know, if you want to see any more videos like this of me explaining what's happened and stuff like that, and to make sure that you get to see the next video that I'm going to be putting up real soon, make sure that you click subscribe to my channel and turn on the notifications so that you can actually see when I upload and get to see and hear the craziness that is my life with this crazy stuff. Okay? And I'm going to go to bed now because it's like 3 o'clock in the morning. I have kept my boyfriend up just so he's sat right there, over there, just so I can feel a bit more safe, because I haven't been able to film this video by myself just because I feel like it draws energy and I can hear things. I feel like I'm being watched. I feel like someone does want me to make this video, but I want to make it because I had to go through this stuff, so might as well make a video about it. Might as well tell everyone about it, because not a lot of people believe in it and it's real. Okay, thank you so much for watching. Bye.